Hello, very good morning. It is 1st of December 2015. This is Devaraja Mayuran with today's English dailies for Athavan News. Let me first have a look at the news highlights of Daily Mirror, whose headline says Bureaucratic Red Light. SLAS GMOA warn of TU action if duty-free vehicle permits not restored. Officials of the Sri Lanka Administrative Service Ministry secretaries, head of the departments and district and divisional secretaries will resort to trade union action if the government fails to restore the duty-free vehicle permit concession, SLAS General Secretary Rohana D. Silva warned yesterday. He also warned that government doctors, engineers, accountants, surveyors and government lawyers would join the TU action. Another news highlight in Daily Mirror says government asking ransom when withdrawing your money, says Bandula Gunawardena. UPFA MP Bandula Gunawardena yesterday criticized the budget proposal to impose charges when bank customers withdraw their own cash. He said the government has proposed that a charge of 2% be levied on cash withdrawals between Rs 1 million and Rs 10 million and 3% levied on cash withdrawals of more than Rs 10 million. Another news in Daily Mirror says CID to check tax reports of Udayanthi. Colombo Chief Magistrate Jihan Palapiti yesterday permitted the Criminal Investigation Department to examine income tax reports of 20 persons including teledrama actress Udayanthi Kulathunga, who had been allegedly paid by drug kingpin Gambola Vidanahe Samantha Kumara alias Vele Sudha. Another news says government keen on pension for private sector. The government will soon take steps to implement a pension scheme for private sector employees similar to the pension scheme for public servants, Deputy Foreign Affairs Minister Harsha D. Silva informed Parliament yesterday. Now let us move to the news highlights of Daily News. The headline of the newspaper says President tells SL community in Paris will go for referendum to craft new constitution. President Maithripala Sirisena said his government would not hesitate to go for a referendum to introduce a new constitution to the country as promised during his presidential election campaign early this year. We embarked upon the constitutional reform process. To complete that, we will have to resort a referendum. My government is ready to do that as well, the president said, addressing a Sri Lankan community gathering at the Sri Lankan embassy in Paris on Sunday night. Another news says Justice Ebru files FR. Supreme Court Judge Sarath D. Abru has filed a fundamental rights case against 7 police officers and the Attorney General. Justice Abru in his petition is complaining that indicting him in the High Courts is a violation of his fundamental rights. Another news highlight says Government pillar to vote against budget. The Pivithuru Hela Urumaya will vote against the budget in Parliament, Party General Secretary Udaya Kamanpilla said yesterday. Addressing a press conference at the party office at Pittalgota, Kamanpilla said certain members of the common opposition were still undecided whether to vote in favor of the budget or opposite. He said these members would take a firm decision on the matter in the coming week. Another news says Narayanpeti OIC investigated over bribery case. Sleuths of Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption yesterday informed court that the Narayanpetiya Police OIC was also being investigated for involvement in allegedly soliciting a bribe from a businessman. Finally, I am taking a quick look at the headline of Ceylon Today, which writes, Dead bodies continue to float. 2 male corpses were discovered in 2 separate places in Colombo yesterday, the police media unit informed Ceylon Today. The police also added that the first victim was discovered in the burial lake behind Roy Inn in the Slave Island Police Division. The deceased, identified as Gigana Gamarasinghe Chandrasena, aged 54, was resident of Adgala Gambola and an electrician who used to work in Colombo. The police also added that the magisterial examination took place yesterday. The post-mortem is just to take place. Another dead body of a male was also found afloat in the canal by the Open University. The police also added that the deceased was aged between 25 years. The deceased was not yet identified and the magisterial examination and post-mortem is yet to take place. Another news in Ceylon Today says, I will never compromise on national security, says President. President Maithripala Sirisena said he loved Sri Lanka as much as or even more than any other Sri Lankan and vowed that he would never compromise of national security under any circumstance. He said this at the meeting with the members of Sri Lankan community in France at the Embassy of Sri Lanka in Paris on 29 November. And the news says PM notifies UNP members gear up for LG elections. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe has asked all UNP members and ministers to prepare for the upcoming local government elections. The Prime Minister informed them thus at a UNP front meeting at Bentota. We brought you the prime news of today's English dailies. News like this and more will come on your way tomorrow too. Have a nice day. Goodbye.